Con Charles, aka Don Charles, has officially been sacked by Daniel Dubois. My people, are we really surprised by this latest breaking news? I will say no. The majority of boxing fans, I think we all saw this coming, right? Because after Daniel Dubois got knocked out by Alexander Usyk at Wembley, there were rumors already spreading that Don Charles was going to lose his job. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when, you know, so it's just all about timing. So I'm not surprised at all that Con Charles, you know, has got the kick. He's been kicked out. Do you know what I mean? I'm not surprised at all. But listen, we're going to get into that. My people, welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Listen, if you enjoy the content, please go ahead and smash the like button. If you don't enjoy the content, go ahead and smash the like button anyway. Do you know what I mean? And if you're new, please go ahead and subscribe because you're really going to help the channel to grow. I'm aiming, my target is 3,000 subs by the end of September. I think I need around about 280 new subs. That is not a lot. Do you know what I mean? That is not a lot. Do you know what I mean? You guys can help me get there so much quicker. By the end of the year, I want 5K. Do you know what I mean? So by December, January, latest, yeah, I want 5K. You guys can get me there. Listen, I appreciate everyone that's already supporting the channel. Everyone that comments, you know what I mean? Everyone that likes, everyone that gets involved in the community posts, everyone that comes along to watch the watch-alongs. I really appreciate you. Do you know what I mean? So help me get there quicker, my people. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Listen, let's go back to the Daniel Dubois, Con Charles getting sacked. Listen, if you watch this channel, if you're a regular viewer here on EMGM Sports, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of Don Charles. I actually named him Con Charles. Do you know what I mean? So if you see Con Charles in the comments everywhere else, listen to me. I'm the architect, you know, so I don't really rate Don Charles, aka Con Charles, highly. Do you know what I mean? I think he was good for Daniel Dubois in terms of the mental side. You know, Daniel Dubois, after he lost to Joe Joyce, he was mentally broken. You know, he got a lot of criticism, a lot of backlash. People were calling him a quitter, etc., etc. So it was going to take a lot for him to make a comeback. And I feel like at that time, Daniel Dubois needed Con Charles. Do you know what I mean? He really needed, because Don Charles, although I don't rate him as a coach, you know, like in terms of giving instructions and really taking a fighter that's kind of basic and really taking him to the next level, like I don't really rate his coaching, but in terms of the mental, the psychological warfare, etc., etc., I think he's really good at it. And I believe that he was able to help Daniel Dubois get out of a dark place and really make him believe in himself again, believe in his ability. And listen, that's a good thing. You know, it's a good skill for a coach to have. Not every coach have that. Some coaches are really good on the pads. They're really good at training and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? They're really good at analyzing tapes and everything like that. But in terms of getting into a fighter's psychic, getting into them mentally, they're not good at that. Con Charles is really good at that. So he helped Daniel Dubois. And also, listen, they became IBF champion, etc., etc. So listen, well done to Don Charles for that. But I just feel like after watching the Usyk fight, I felt like Daniel Dubois didn't really improve in terms of his boxing, in terms of his skills. He was making a lot of mistakes in there that I believe another coach, a world-class coach, would improve those mistakes and get rid of some of those bad habits, take it away from Daniel Dubois' game. I don't think Don Charles can take Daniel Dubois to that next level. I also believe like Don Charles was good at managing the toxic environment of the Dubois family. Do you know what I mean? Listen, Daniel Dubois, his dad, Stan, listen, that's a very toxic environment. I mean, listen, don't take my word for it. Go listen to Caroline Dubois, Daniel Dubois' sister. She left the house at 16. She couldn't wait to get away from the dad. Do you know what I mean? Because he's so toxic. He wants to control everything. Even during the fight with Alexander Usyk, I mean, Daniel Dubois was looking at his dad for instruction. Do you know what I mean? He was looking at his dad like, yo, dad, what do I do next? And his dad was shouting out instructions. I mean, listen, that is not on. If you're a coach, You know, like you want your fighter to listen to you, to look at you when they need help. You know what I mean? But Daniel Dubois has been looking at his dad. He finds more comfort with his dad rather than his coaches. So I feel like Con Charles, he was the right person to kind of like manage that situation. You know, like other coaches might not stand for shit like that. They might not take that type of bullshit. But Don Charles, I think he kind of humbled himself and he understood the task. He understood the assignment. Listen, you do the coaching, but just know that Stan Dubois, the dad, he's going to get involved. Do you know what I mean? He has to be part of everything. He wants to control all the narrative. As long as you understand that as a coach, you're fine. You're safe. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like Don Charles got the boot because something happened between him and Daniel Dubois' dad. There was probably some friction there, they probably had a row or something like that. Something's happened that they got rid of him because I feel like Don Charles was actually okay. You know what I mean? He's not the best coach out there, but he's okay. You know, he's okay. But his time came to an end, you know? So they've given him the boot. Now, Daniel Dubois has moved on to Tony SIMS. Tony SIMS, if you guys are familiar with him, he trained Anthony Joshua in his early days. He was involved with Anthony Joshua, etc., etc. He's currently got Johnny Fisher on his stable. He's got Conor Ben on his stable. I will say Tony SIMS, for me, is not the best coach out there. He's not the best coach out there. I don't think he's really going to improve Daniel Dubois that much, even though there are some people that rate Tony SIMS as a coach. But for me, yeah, I believe Daniel Dubois should have gone to Andy Lee. Andy Lee is based in Ireland. We've seen Andy Lee. He's now coaching Joseph Parker. He's got Hamza Shiraz on his stable as well. Andy Lee, I rate Andy Lee as a coach, as a boxing coach. And he's good mentally as well. He gets into the fight, his mental side, and he can coach. He improves fighters. Look at the work he's done with Hamza Sharif, man. Hamza Shiraz. Look at the work that he's done with Joseph Parker. Do you know what I mean? He's done a phenomenal job. But I feel like Daniel Dubois' dad wouldn't want someone like Andy Lee coaching his son, because Andy Lee will not tolerate the bullshit. He's not going to be with the crap. Like Andy Lee's going to tell them, listen, I'm the coach. You listen to me. Whatever the instruction that I give you, you go out there and implement them. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to allow Daniel Dubois' dad to control the narrative. And I feel like that's why Daniel Dubois wouldn't go over Andy Lee, because Andy Lee wouldn't tolerate the bullshit. It's a shame because I rate Andy Lee highly as a coach. I think that would have been the best option, the best choice for Daniel Dubois to really improve his boxing skills and take him to that next level. I hope that Tony SIMS is ready for that toxic environment of the Dubois family. You know, I mean, listen, before the Usyk fight, hours before the Usyk fight, Daniel Dubois was out there, you know, partying. You know, will Tony SIMS allow shit like that? Because Daniel Dubois mentally, before a fight, he has to do something. He has to go for a walk. He has to walk the dog. You know, he has to have a party. Listen, there's a lot of crazy, weird shit that happens with Daniel Dubois. Yeah, I don't understand it, but listen, he should have run. If he works for him, he works for them, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But will Tony SIMS, you know, stand for that? Would they allow Daniel Dubois to have a party before a big fight? That's the thing. That's some crazy shit that Tony SIMS has to manage, because I'm sure before they even hired Tony SIMS, like I think they told him the assignment. I think they told him how Daniel Dubois works and you know, how the whole team is set up. And Tony SIMS must have looked at him for, you know what, yeah, I'll take this on. Will Tony SIMS be able to get to Daniel Dubois mentally as well as train him physically? We're going to wait and see. Anyway. Let's wait and see how Daniel Dubois performs in his next fight. And can Tony SIMS handle the toxic environment which comes with the Dubois family, with Stan Dubois? Can he handle that? Listen, only time will tell, man. My people, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, man. What do you think of Daniel Dubois getting rid of Con Charles, aka Don Charles, and moving to Tony SIMS? Is that the right move? I personally think he should have went with Andy Lee. But hey, listen, that's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. Guys, I'll be back with another one real soon. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.